Hello, good morning. I'm going to jump right into this because I don't have a whole lot of time today. I've got to get out on the road for my day job. So anyway, this is my fourth live video that I'm entitling My Journey Through Fear and Anxiety, Panic Attacks. Hey, Amber. And I just really felt kind of an instruction, I guess, from God just to start to get on here and just to let people know, my journey through this. And I always am putting through fear and anxiety and panic attacks, because when you go through something, right, you go through a door and you come out on the other side, right? That's the point of going through something. Hey, Elma, how are you? The two A's, Elma and Amber. Thanks, you guys, for being on here. All right, so when you go through something, you go through a door, you come out on the other side, right? And there's too many people who are stuck, right? Who are stuck in anxiety, who are stuck in fear, right? Who are stuck in thinking that they have to live a life like this, that they have to live a life coping with it, enduring it, putting up with it, medicating it, missing out on things, having to leave things early, saying no to many things that they want to do because they feel that they're stuck. Well, I'm here in these videos to let you know that you don't have to stay stuck, right? And my journey with it was 25 years of fear, anxiety, and panic attacks. And quite honestly, if I had listened to well-meaning, doctors, counselors, I'm going to go through and let you guys know everything that I went through, every facet of what I tried to do to conquer this thing. It was a very miserable existence. It's a hellish existence. You know it if you've gone through it or you're going through it. You know it if you know somebody, a friend, a relative, or somebody that's going through it. By the way, just please share this, or please let people know, to get on my wall and to, be able to see these. And if you know somebody who's going through this, but in the back of my mind, I was always like, man, I am going to break free, because I had times in my life where I had felt pretty good. Okay, it wasn't like 25 years every day, 24/7. I was having a panic attack, no, there was some little pockets of reprieve, and I thought, I've got that. I've had those moments, so I know it can happen. I just didn't know how it was going to happen. Hey, Sue and Lindsay, Bernie and Vicky. Hi, you guys. Thanks for being on. Anyway, I didn't want to go through my life medicating it, which I didn't do because I had awful side effects. So I didn't even do that whatsoever. I wasn't content to just endure it, to just put up with it, to live with it, to fashion my life around fear and anxiety. Okay, and that's what I ended up having to do. I'm creating my life around this fear and anxiety, and the things that I knew I couldn't do, I just stopped doing. Hey, Sharni, how are you? It was like, no, this is not how I want to live, and this is not how I'm designed to live. I didn't know what freedom looked like. I didn't know how it was going to come about. But it did, and it can, and I'm going to share my journey with you on how that happened. But what my point was saying, there's well-meaning doctors, there's well-meaning counselors, and what they tell you, is what they've experienced with it. This is what we've seen, that people who has a bloodline of it or family members, more than likely they're stuck with it. It's a chemical imbalance, so you're going to have to be on medication. Whatever they might have told you, if I would have believed all that, I would still be stuck. I would still be stuck thinking I have to stay stuck in this instead of going through it, overcoming it, coming out on the other side. Okay? There was something inside me that said, no, I don't believe this. I don't believe I have to do this. I don't believe I have to live like this, endure it, just maybe curb it once in a while. It's 3:00. It's time for my meds again. I can feel because they're wearing off, because the anxiety is coming back. I hear that so much, or I've talked to so many people who are on medication and things that that they're still feeling anxiety. So they're pumping their body with medication with side effects and stuff, but they're still anxious. You know, that isn't how you're meant to live. It's not how God designed you to live. All right? So I want to just quickly share this. I wanted to share these things, but there is something that I felt like God wanted to share, me to share with you. And I have to, you know, kind of premise this with, I'm a firm believer that there is, that God is up there, man. God is up there. You know, he's a savior. He's a redeemer. He's a restorer. He's a healer. He is for you, not against you, no matter what you might think. I'll get into that too, but there's also an enemy, right? There's an enemy. He's called the devil. He's called Satan. He's called, you know, he has zero power compared to God. You know, we think he's equal, but that's not true. So there is God and there is an enemy. And the enemy is out to get you, man. He's out to get you. He knows your weaknesses. He knows how he can get in there and deceive. And, you know, I have 5 boys, and I could have guessed which ones, if they were going to have anxiety and panic, I could tell which ones the enemy could get into and attack with this. And it did happen. But it was quick to get over it because I was through it already. But so the enemy, this is what I wrote down to tell you guys. The enemy, anytime the enemy has been occupying territory for any length of time, he's not going to get out without a fight, right? He's not going to get out without a fight. It's going to take some determination. And he occupied the territory in my mind. Hey, Christina. Hey, Michelle. He occupied the territory in my mind for almost 25 years with fear, anxiety, panic, you name it. The thoughts that were pelted in my mind or that were coming through there on a regular basis, it was crazy. It was like a super highway of just bombardment, torture, absolute torture. Okay? So the longer you've been through this, if you guys are watching that are going through fear and panic and anxiety, or you know somebody, the longer that the enemy has been there attacking your mind with these thoughts, right? He isn't getting out without a fight. You don't just go, hey, get out, you know? No, you've got to combat it. And that is what I'm going to continue to let you know. You know, that is what I'm going to continue to talk about, okay? 2 other things I want to leave you with. And one is, this is a favorite verse of mine. It's James 1:17. James 1:17, and it says, every good and perfect gift comes from above. I told you guys that I started this. You have to go back to the other videos, but I never knew a day without fear when I was young, but 11 is when I had my first panic attack. And I came to believe and think that it came from God. That God, because my thought, what I had heard, like, God is in control of everything. He makes everything happen. He makes everything good or bad. It doesn't matter. He brings it all, right? Every good and perfect gift comes from above. So I came to know and to realize if it's not good and it's not perfect, it doesn't come from God. God didn't say, oh, Heidi, you need to spend your life in fear. In fact, I'll let that happen from the time you're little, 2, 3 years old, and then at 11, I think it's time for your first panic attack. No, that's what I believed. So it was really difficult for me to pray to a God that I thought was sending this on me. If it isn't good and it isn't perfect, you know, it's not from God. Do things that are not good and not perfect come to us and come? Yes, they do. But God has designed us to be overcomers. He's put it in us already, okay? Another verse is John 10:10. The thief comes but to kill and to steal and to destroy. The thief, who is that? The enemy. That's what he's talking about. Not God. God's a giver of life, right? He's the giver of every good and perfect gift. He is a redeemer. He's a restorer. And believe it or not, he has put everything inside of you already to break free from fear, anxiety, and panic attacks. And that's the truth. And I'm going to keep going Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday mornings. And I'm sorry I didn't do this Monday morning or this past Monday, Memorial Day. Take you through my journey and show you how I came out on the other side of this. But be encouraged, because it's not just me. You know, I told you in the last video, I think I did this program at church. So I've got people at church who have testimonies. This program has helped other people. And actually, there's other things out there too. You know, there's people that have overcome this. And if they can do it, if I can do it, if other people can do it, so can you. You know, the Bible says God's no respecter of persons. You know, what he does for one, he gladly does for all who come to him in faith believing. So be encouraged. Help this to be, first of all, you're hearing the testimony of someone who's been through it. So you go, oh, I'm not the only one. Because even though we know we're not, you know, you still need to know that, right? So you're not the only one. You're not alone out there. Number two, I've gone through it. And like I said in the beginning, that means I came out on the other side. When you go through something, you come out on the other side victorious, okay? God did it for me. He wants to do it for you. So anyway, today's Wednesday. I'll be back on Friday for more of my story and encouragement for you. All right, you guys have a great day. Be encouraged. You can break free.